Hello friends, I'm back with another video. If you are new here, I'm Laura and my art name is Tomato Illustrates and I'm a mixed media artist. And today, the lovely people at Woomer sent me some watercolors to try out and I was so looking forward to this. I am a big fan of mixed media in general, and watercolor is something that I pick up from time to time. It's not something I use every single day, but when I do use it, I always think, why don't I use this medium more? So for this one, I was so excited to just get into it and make a interesting mixed media piece or watercolor piece by itself, but I did use some mixed media techniques in this as well. So yeah, let's get into it. So to mention the packaging, I do like the packaging a lot. Woomer always has some nice illustrations on it. I do wish that the kitty that was painted on the front was hand painted, maybe with watercolors to represent the paint palette, but yeah, I do love the little accents and the little imagery on the packaging. It's always super nice. The amount of information and everything else, absolutely wonderful. You can really see what's inside and it's always a pleasure. So yeah, and then I just wanted to say that the color palette includes 36 colors, which is a lot. And to be honest, I've never used watercolors like this before, where they are in the pan. Obviously when I was younger I did. They were like obviously school grade paints, and yeah, I'm super pleased with how these ones are reacting to water. And yeah, so I just did some kind of testing the elements, and as you saw, the package also included some watercolor paper. So this set specifically you can get on Amazon, and the paper is also included. So I swatched some colors on both sides of the paper because I wasn't sure which side was the front, which one was the back. Maybe Woomer should include like a little label so you can see which one is the front, or I'm not sure, but maybe you can use both sides of the paper, which I did. So as you can see, the illustration that I'm working on now, I actually used, I think it's the back, because I'm not a big fan of too much texture on my paper. I've spoken about this pretty much in every video that I make, and yeah, I'm just a massive fan of like smoother surfaced papers, especially for watercolor as well. I know that the more textures and if it's a cold press watercolor paper, it won't buckle as easily as the hot pressed watercolor paper. However, I will always stick to a smoother surface. So after swatching the colors, I try to limit the amount of swooshes with the paintbrush that I did in the palette, and I did 5 mostly for all of them, and they're super pigmented. I can't fault them at all. Like, this is an extremely nice value palette, and I'm definitely going to be using this in my daily routine. So after swatching all of the colors, of course, I just wanted to mention that I love that they include a swatch sheet. It's the best thing when a brand, you know, goes out of their way to make a little swatch sheet dedicated for you. And I think that's really nice and admirable. And yeah, my favorite color of the whole set is the N356, which is the violet. And I love that color purely because it's got the double tone, so you get the pink and the purple, which is so nice. And yeah, to go into that a bit more, so usually I know that there's a lot of artists that prefer single pigmented colors. I, however, don't mind at all. And as you saw in the little swatch sheet, you can see that most of the colors do come in like a mixed pigment, but like I said, I don't mind that at all. I actually find it really nice and interesting because it adds like another element of like dimension and, you know, just an extra interest point. And I love mixing my colors, making these like transition shades, and I love the fact that these have pigments that are mixed, but obviously if you're buying in tubes, it's a lot cheaper if you just buy whole pigments and mix them yourself. So overall, the colors are super pigmented and, like I mentioned, worth every single penny. As you can see, the colors lay on so nicely. And yeah, to go into that a bit more, so the set includes these two brushes. Make sure you open them opposite way, because for a second there at the start I panicked of why can't I open it, but it turns out that's obviously for like a safety thing, so that they don't just come apart, so they come closed the opposite way, which is actually really smart. So make sure you open them the opposite way. And yeah, these water brushes, I had never really used a water brush before, and I was so looking forward to using these and seeing how they work. And oh my god, like, I'm absolutely obsessed with the water brushes for watercolor. Like, whoever came up with this invention is an absolute genius, because this is so easy. I know that mostly these are great for like traveling and portability, but I'm gonna be using these every single time I use watercolor, I can promise you that, because the transitions and blending and like making the colors like bleed together is so easy with this like type of brush, and I don't know why I didn't adapt this into my process earlier. So obviously for this painting and the next one as well, you will see I'm still practicing and trying to figure out how I'm going about this, and like what's the best way of action and things like that. And yeah, it's just, getting the new art material always takes a little bit of time getting used to. You're never going to be able to get it, completely perfect from the start. So that's kind of like what I wanted to make sure to add, because obviously if you're going into something new, it'll always be a learning curve no matter what kind of an expert you are in this specific medium. So I'm treading quite lightly, and I'm trying to be as intricate and as like purposeful as I can in this piece, because I wanted it to be a specific way. I've been really loving seeing artists who use watercolors, and the way that they make their pieces look so effortless and like so blended, but not like over the top and things like that. And I think mainly the reason is using these water brushes. I will be honest, I haven't been able to create this type of effect with a regular brush, or maybe I'm just not using the watercolors correctly. Another thing, I wanted to mix up some extra colors, so what I did was pulled out my regular color palette, because I didn't want to ruin the white swatch area that's included in this palette. So I just quickly mixed up two colors. One was like this minty color, and then another one that's like a little bit more of a leaf color. So from the greens, the olive green and the other green is amazing, but I wish there was like a middle one, which was a little bit of a leafy color. So yeah, I just went ahead and mixed it up, and it worked perfectly. Another thing, I know that people don't usually mix their colors with white, but for that minty color, I mixed white and one of the little turquoisey colors, and to be honest, I didn't find any issues with it. I know that people just water down their colors, but I like these colors to be like quite bright and like a different effect. So I don't know, I'm usually very heavy-handed. I find it really difficult to stay very flowy with the colors, so yeah. Another thing to add, I completely forgot to mention about the Pokemon cards. So for this piece, I didn't know what to make, and my partner recently got me some Pokemon cards again. And it was like a pack with all the purple colors and so I wanted to kind of combine a few of them and make it into like this little character. I've been making floral pieces for a while now, and that's been my recent obsession, so I wanted to keep that momentum. So all I did was make a little like combined Pokemon character that I would never usually, you know, think of. I just added some elements, obviously the little horn antlers from the Umbreon, and then like the face shape from Umbreon as well, I think. But yeah, I just wanted to like make it, you know, like a cute little original character. And then I drew all the flowers and the florals around, and they're kind of like the type of flowers that I make in my everyday pieces. But yeah, as you can see, the blendability is incredible, and the way that the colors dry on this paper is so nice. I'm super obsessed with just the overall visuals of this piece. Like I mentioned, I find it quite difficult with watercolor. Usually I just end up making a massive mess and like having all the colors like bleed into each other and just muddy up. So like I also mentioned, I wanted to keep this very uniform and like very intentful. But as you can also see, I did make some mistakes. I also pulled out my Woomer pencils. Thank you, Woomer, for sending me the pencils as well. You can view the review here in the cards. And yeah, I went over the top with some pencils to kind of bring in some extra shapes and like textures. I think that always makes the pieces a bit more like interesting to look at. And maybe some of the details that kind of maybe not missed, but like didn't get the chance to add. Because watercolor is so unpredictable, it's kind of hard to make the tiny little details. So of course I had to try the other side of the watercolor paper as well, so I turned it around for another sheet of paper and I kind of just quickly sketched out these daisies that I took on a walk to the post office. And yeah, I just used the photo, quickly drew these daisies, and I wanted to test out more of the colors and like to see what the paper's like as well. I'm kind of messing around with these colors, so that this is just to see how they blend and like look on this type of paper. But yeah, I didn't want to make anything too like intricate, too detailed, because of the type of paper that this is. It's kind of harder to do for me. And yeah, so this is it, and yeah, I love them. Thank you so much, Woomer, for sending me these paints. Yeah, here's also a little sneak peek of testing out different media in my new little sketchbook. And yeah, I'm totally obsessed with the final result of this one as well. I'm definitely a massive sketchbooking person, so you will definitely see me working in my sketchbooks a lot more on this channel. So if that's definitely something that you'd like, make sure to follow and subscribe. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much to Woomer for sending me these lovely art supplies. I definitely advocate anyone to go support them. And yeah, thank you so much for being here. See you in the next one. Bye guys.